I personally don't believe it's the change itself that bothers people. Because if I think back to some of the most exciting moments in my life, it was the ones fraught with the most change. Getting ready to get married, ooh, that's a big change, but I wasn't afraid of it. First baby's on the way, oh boy, everything's going to be different now. But I was excited about it. So why in those certain circumstances was I excited about change, and then other times I disliked change? I think the difference is, it's not that people don't like change, it's that they don't like uncertainty. Right? And when we had a baby coming, we were pretty sure what that was going to look like. You know, and so it wasn't a real uncertain time. And so if what people push back on isn't the change itself, but the uncertainty coming with change, then if you want to be an effective leader, part of what you have to do is figure out a way to eliminate uncertainty and to be able to drive change. If you had told me a few years ago that I'd be on Facebook and I'd be text messaging, what? Well, I mean, but the world is changing, and it's creating a level of anxiety and uncertainty. And therein, I think, lies the competitive advantage, right? That if everyone around you is uncertain and scared and afraid, if you're not scared and afraid and you're able to navigate change and drive change, that's a skill set that's going to be of great value to you. And who was it back there that said false when I said true or false? It's some of you ladies that were partying last night. And then I saw you this morning, you were bragging about your party, you didn't know I was one of the speakers, did you? I was at breakfast today wearing shorts and flip-flops. I'm like, you ladies were wild last night. They're like, oh yeah! Wait till tomorrow night. I said, I hope you have good speakers at that conference of yours. And they go, God, we hope so. Busted. So anyway, let's talk a little bit about attitude. I had a client who called me up. It's a guy who owns a large restaurant. And he said, Jeff, I'd like to hire you to come in and do some motivational speaking for my team. And I said, great. Sounds good. What do you want me to talk about? And he said, well, I'm having a problem with punctuality. I go, okay. He goes, people just, my staff, my team, they're just not showing up on time. People show up at the last minute or late. And I've been talking about punctuality. Could I hire you to come in and give a motivational speech on punctuality? And I said, well, if you pay me enough, I'll talk about whatever you want. But could you imagine a more boring motivational speech? Could you imagine sitting and listening to an hour-long seminar on punctuality? First of all, that would be the most boring speech in the history of the world. Secondly, do you think that's going to make anybody show up to work any more early? Do you really believe that? I said, no. I said, now, I will come and help you, but I'm not going to give a speech on punctuality. How about this? Why don't I come and give a speech to your servers and waitstaff about how to double their income? Are there things that servers can do at a restaurant to get bigger tips? All kinds of things. So he puts a sign up that stay after work on Thursday, and Jeff Joyner is going to talk about how to double your income. Well, now guess who was excited to have me come in? Right? People with notepads, tape recorders. I want to hear this stuff. And I said, now I'll handle punctuality, but in a way different than you think. I said, tell me this. Who on your team does the best job with showing up to work on time? He goes, well, nobody shows up early like I want, but there's a guy named Mike who at least is never late. I go, Mike's never late? I go, that's all I need to know. So I show up at this thing, and I'm giving my talk, and I got to a part where I talked about being a team player and accountability, and I said, hey, where's Mike? This college kid raised his hand. I go, are you Mike? Come up here. Mike comes up there, and I go, hey, I want to talk about Mike for a second. I said, your boss was telling me that you show up on time every single day and you're never late. He goes, well, I guess, never really thought about it. I said, I want to thank you right in front of everybody and let you know that your boss was bragging about you. That when you show up on time, you're being accountable to the team, you're being reliable, that shows you as someone of character. You're the kind of person that we need more people like this around here. I just want, let's give Mike a hand. Hey, everybody cheers. Hey, your boss is bragging about you, Mike. He said, not only do you show up on time, but sometimes you show up a little bit early. Keep it up. You're a winner. So we get all done, and I told the boss, I go, give me a call in a couple days and let me know what happened. You can probably guess. Next day at work, guess what happened? Everybody's there early, standing outside before he gets there. Hey, boss. Here I am. Notice me. Notice me, right? Because people don't do what they're taught to do. People do what's recognized. And so modern leadership and modern entrepreneurism is, all right, I know crystal clear where I want to go, but I'm going to be as flexible as I can in how to get there. The destination doesn't change, but my strategy to get there might change every day, every hour, every minute. Does that make sense? And so flexibility is a trait that you can develop. It starts with a decision. All right, I'm going to be flexible. Yeah, I used to do it that way, and that way used to work, but we're going to try something new. And so now a lot of companies that are hiring executives, that's one of the things they're looking for. They're looking at attitude, their ability to collaborate with others, teamwork type things, and they're looking for how flexible are you? How quickly can you adapt? How productive can you be? Which means how much can you get done in a short amount of time? If you and I are both working for the same company and it takes you 3 days what it takes me to do an hour, who's more valuable? Yeah, because I'm more productive. Productivity in the modern world is rooted in flexibility, figuring out new and different ways to get things done. How do I utilize the resources that I have at my disposal so I don't have to keep reinventing the wheel? This is Stanley Marcus, the founder of Neiman Marcus stores. He said, the road to success is paved with mistakes well handled. That the key to success is not avoiding mistakes, it's an understanding that mistakes are going to happen, and when they do happen, we're going to learn from them. And if mistakes are instructive, if mistakes A are going to happen, agreed? And if mistakes are instructive and that's how you learn to do it right, well then why do people spend so much time and energy trying to avoid failure when that's the very thing that they need is probably some more failure? If people work in a workplace where failure is fatal, where I get fired for making a mistake, people turn off their minds. And they're not ever going to do any more than what you've exactly told them to do. You ever be like, why can't people think a little bit? You know, use your head. It's probably because you've created an environment where using your head gets you in trouble. And if you can take the approach that, hey, you know what? Mistakes happen. Failure happens. Failure is instructive. That's how we get better. In fact, you made a big mistake. It's okay. Did you learn from it? And let's tell the story to everybody else that we all leared from it. Now as a team, we're better than we were 10 minutes ago. Most restaurants in America do a lot of the same things. If you lined up, if I went around and surveyed each of you and said, hey, what do you do with your time at your operation? I bet you 98% of it are the same things. Right? Opening, we turn on the ovens, we do this, we clean, we have our procedures. All right, we have that it's the same kind of things that every restaurant does. All right, what do you got on your menus? The same kind of things. Pizza places have the same kind of things. Rib places have the same kind of things. The food is not it's tough to really differentiate yourself with the food. You know, part of the reason why? Let's say you developed a food concept, a recipe, or an item that you bought from one of the manufacturers, and it was a wow. How quickly could your competitors copy that? Instantly. That's why it's hard to differentiate yourself with your menu. Because how easy is it for one of your competitors to come and eat there? Wow, this is good. We need to have this on our menu. Boom, there goes your difference. But it's that 2% of things, the extra mile, doing things for your customers that your competitors can't or won't. The extra mile.